Oh, look at
Hey,
us, Chris Powell. Good morning, sir.
good morning, my friend.
Chris isn't going to say it,
Uh,
so I am. He's been on the hamster wheel this morning, and it has been it was just one of those mornings for you where if it could, it did.
oh man, but I woke up to a text. I mean, first of all, it's a jam-packed day with two TV segments running into the podcast I got a 12 o'clock, a 1 o'clock, a 2 o'clock, a 2:45, a 4, and a 4:30, and so it's like one after that, and then but the thing is, like, the segment, they were like extremely they're all like food prep visual segments for the holidays, where I'm making reindeer protein balls, and I'm doing like little grinches out of fruit and everything. I hadn't chopped any of the fruit or hadn't prepped anything. So I was gonna have some help at the segment, and my friend texted me this morning. She's like, I am sick as a dog, I can't make it. I'm like,
Oh,
no. So I ran down there. I ran down to the TV station. No joke, like an hour and a half early. They're like, "What are you doing here?" And I just had all this fruit. I'm like, I gotta chop fruit,
I'm prepping. I'm
dude.
prepping.
So I was chopping fruit for an hour and hour and 15 minutes. Finally, we did the segment. Everything, fortunately, it went great. So, but anyway,
Good.
just I came flying in hot. I literally just ran in the door 5 minutes ago. Here we are.
Here we are,
Yes.
man.
How are you, buddy? Happy holidays. How was your Thanksgiving?
We had a good time, man. We went to Palm Springs with the whole family, which was a really nice vacation. I threw some photos up on the gram in case anybody wants to see them. But
Nice.
dude, everybody was coughing, everybody was sneezing, everybody was like, and honestly, today is maybe the first day in a few days where I kind of feel like, am I getting back to normal a little bit? I mean, but this thing
Yeah.
had me by the reindeer balls, to use your expression, for a solid week.
Yeah. Yeah.
No fun.
Last week we had to do this thing virtual. Well, we're doing it virtual again.
I
we
know.
we had to do it virtual last week, yeah, because it that thing hit you hard. It had you
Yeah.
out for knocked you out for a week.
Yeah, it was tough one,
Man.
man. It's a tough one. But anyways, we're back. We're excited. We're virtual again because of this is what we've got to figure out. And maybe it's a me problem, not a technology problem. But when you go to make a calendar invite, and I'm talking to the folks who have to calendar invite all the time, and you clearly have 8 of them today, so you know what
Yeah.
I'm talking about.
I know
But I
exactly.
made the calendar invite while we were in California, which was Pacific Standard Time. And then I wanted the meeting that was this morning to be mountain time, but it didn't change it for anybody. And so it just turned into this huge cluster, you know what, where like I had to do the meeting at 10, which didn't allow me to drive to your place. And so that's the reason we're virtual today. It's not so much a sick thing as it is it was a time issue. It was just, what are
Oh,
you going to do, man?
I know. What you know what's crazy? I love the fact that Arizona does not change for daylight savings time.
Yes.
We're the same. And it'd be wonderful if the rest of the country did the same,
Yes.
because and I know it's an Arizona thing, but it really throws things off when you start making calendar invites like the week or 2 weeks before the switch, because you can set a time, and then as soon as everything changes, it's not like the rest of the nation, they all fell back. We stayed the same, and so all the
Right.
calendar invites got thrown off. And
Mess.
so yeah,
All
it's
right,
a mess.
there's
But
there's about 30 people watching at this very second. In the comments, which time zone are you in? I'm so curious which time zone everybody is checking us out, because that's a fascinating thing
and
to me. What time
I
zone are you in?
and I want to know also, are you a fan of daylight savings time, or do you think we should do the whole jump back and forth thing?
All right,
Because man, I'm telling you,
East
we
Coast.
I've here in Arizona for 26 years, almost 27. I love not jumping back and forth. It's wonderful.
How about this, Chris? Just a small proposal. You can take it and run with it if you like. We just have literally the East Coast and the West Coast. The Mississippi River decides
Dude,
everything.
dude,
And that's it. End of
I'm in.
discussion. There's Eastern and Western time zones,
I'm in. That would be incredible, actually.
right?
Yeah. I think you'd have to get some of the other, well, I don't know. would we have to? We could do that here in the United States, but would we have to enroll some of our friends south of us?
I don't
You know,
know. Yeah, in the
Mexico,
northern
South America,
hemisphere.
yeah, like or actually in the whole and the southern, like go down to South America, like you got to split up. I don't know, but
It's
that would be incredible. I'd be
it would
I'd
be
be totally
incredible.
down for that. I know.
Yeah. All right. Well,
I'm
we'll
with
get
you,
on that.
Adam. Needs to
We'll
be
get on
done.
that. Hey, really quick, we want to say thank you, 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 thank you. Hi, Amanda. Good morning to you. Because we just got a text message late last night at 10 o'clock that the I Needed That podcast has crossed the 200,000 downloads finish line, which is
Wow.
such a cool
That's
milestone. Thank
amazing.
you.
Yeah, that's so cool, guys. Thanks to all of you who are listening on the regular, and I really hope you guys you love the podcast as much as we love making it for you.
Yeah.
But man, it's what a wild ride this has been.
This
This
is
is
really
so
cool.
cool.
I
Yeah.
think we could take the credit, or we should give the credit to where it's due, and that would be this woman right here. Here's a clip from the podcast episode that currently is the most downloaded podcast on the I Needed That podcast network. Here's a clip from us and Dr. Marie Claire Haver.
But like, to be honest, I still have to have a conversation with myself when I look at a scale, that number on the scale does not represent your health. And that I was so tied to that. I was under this impression that I was healthy because I weighed a certain thing, because I was considered to be thin, and that I really did myself a disservice for 20 years focusing on cardio and not picking up weights, and that muscle mass would have served me so much better at this age and beyond than it would have.
All right. Fascinating conversation with Haver, huh?
She pushed us across the line, that's for sure. I mean, what an incredible. I mean, I was just hanging on for that full hour. Are you drinking from the fire hose? but boy, I am so thrilled that everybody else who listened got so much out of it. That was incredible for men and women. Yeah,
Now today, unbelievable interview with Danny and Lexi, who she's got the Instagram handle Fat Girl Fed Up. Over 1 million people watching her podcast or her network and her transformation. We learned all kinds of things about how she learned or how she lost 300 pounds, how her husband lost 95 pounds. I learned about calciphylaxis, which I had never heard of before. Had you heard of that before?
No, I was not familiar with it at
Yeah.
all. So we certainly learned all about that. But you know what? My biggest takeaway from that whole interview was it was definitely the camaraderie and the support system between the two. If they didn't have each other in this process, I think it would have been a lot more difficult. And just to see the support that they had for each other from the get-go. And there's been ups and downs. And also, like, I think it was really good for them to highlight that. The fact that, they lost weight, started gaining it back, got back on track, they got derailed in COVID, talked about all the different things, the triggers that were there for them when they actually got derailed, and then how they got themselves back on track. And now here they are, and they're doing phenomenal. So, man, I think it really highlights the importance of having a strong support system, at least in one person who can be there, who can have your back.
But I love that we've sort of found ourselves in this lane of exclusively, talking about transformation with the occasional expert interview. But, last week, Quinlan, his transformation was super different, right? It was about being super skinny and how to put on some muscle. And then today we've got Lexi and Danny, which is more of a physical transformation story. Today we're getting ready to record an episode with a dude a lot of people might know, and Noah Galloway. He was featured on Dancing with the Stars. That's how a lot of people got to know Noah Galloway. He lost an arm and a leg in the war and found himself in a really dark depression, but has seemingly pulled himself all the way out of it and now is inspiring others. And so, boy, we are going to have what I think is going to be an insanely interesting conversation with Noah today, man.
Yeah, man. Me too. I'm really looking forward to talking with him. And what's really cool is that, sometimes not sometimes, most of the time we're drawn to these physical transformations. You mentioned Quinlan from last week. Where you see, I mean, he was just frail, almost like he's gonna break. And then
Right.
you see him, and you're drawn to the fact that he's muscular now. And then we're drawn to Lexi and Danny because you see a phenomenal weight loss transformation. But the thing is, if you look through all the physical aspects of transformation, you really start to see these parallel lessons and journeys of discovery for each person, and you realize this is not a skinny thing, it's not a fat thing, or even in the case of with Noah, who's lost an arm and a leg, it's a human thing, and there's a period of discovery, or like a lot of times there's a rock bottom, and then there's this desire to change, then they go and they educate themselves, and then they take a first step, that terrifying first step, and then they fall and they figure out how to get back up, and they fall again and they figure out how to get, and it's like you hear the same stories. It was like, wait, but you gained 50 pounds of muscle, and wait, but you lost 300 pounds, and wait, but you lost your arm and your leg. And so it's like and you hear the same beautiful lessons, but they're all, I mean, it's the same principle, but the context is different.
Yeah, it's like what got him to the party is different, but the party's usually the same for everybody, and you just
That's it.
articulated that, man.
Yeah, man, and it's really cool, and that's really, I mean, ultimately, that's what I want everyone to get from this podcast is that, whatever journey you're on, however you're trying to change, it's possible, and hopefully, we're gonna have a guest on that can really speak to that. But again, look beyond the physicality of it and look at the emotional and the mental and the spiritual journey that people go through. That's it. Yeah. And when I say spiritual, there's no religious connotation there. I'm just talking about a journey within oneself to
Yeah.
learn how to love yourself. So it's really, I love these interviews that we're doing, because and I know you feel the same way. Just after every single one, it's like, man, that was so incredible. I needed that.
I needed that. You're going to need
Yeah.
this. Check out what William just said. He said, you're the reason he's down 214 pounds. In
Oh
19,
my
he asked you
gosh.
what workout I should do. At 674, he said, have someone assist you just standing up. Sit down, repeat. Now I'm doing 5,000 to 8,000 steps a day at 460 pounds.
Wow, William, you just made my day. Holy smokes, you are the man. That is
That's incredible, man.
Yes, man.
Wow.
I remember having. I apologize. The name left me, and William, thanks for finding me again. But I remember just saying, yeah, sit down, stand up, get down on the ground, stand back up. Learn how to move around your house again. That's one of the best things you could do. We got a little built-in gym right here in our living room, and just follow the natural movement patterns that you need to incorporate to live your life again. And that alone is an exercise. Man, that's so cool, William. Great job, dude. I'm so freaking proud of you.
Yeah, that is
Dude, keep it going, dude. I'm fired up now. That's so cool. That's so cool.
Yeah, this is why we're here, man.
Yeah, dude. That's
Why we're
awesome.
here.
Man.
All right, listen, everyone. We got to run because we're about to link up with Noah Galloway today, but that podcast will be out next Monday. So if you're interested in hearing it, make sure you're following the I Needed That podcast. We're on YouTube. We're on the Instagram handle, I Needed That podcast. If you want to follow us there, you can always follow at Real Chris Powell and at Matthew Blades Media for our shenanigans. But if you want official podcast content, that's where it lives.
Let's go.
All right, man.
All
Everybody
right.
have a nice week. And Chris, I'll see you on the next screen.
Yeah, absolutely. And guys, listen to Lexi and Danny's interview. It's out today. It's really, really good. It's incredible. Michelle, have a wonderful day. Thank you for being you, Michelle.
See you, everybody.
See you guys.